Chapter 1942, 43 Phoenix 3. The Phoenix's ability is extremely powerful. It is the first time in Zhang life that he has seen someone who can break through his dimensional door purely by relying on his indestructible will. Even Liang Yu couldn't do it. Unconsciously, he thought of an old friend. In the past, when it came to the Northwest King's longbow, only that guy, at the same strength level, could almost ignore his defense and directly cause damage to his body. Today, Zhang Yi is no longer the same person he was before. They only saw my spatial ability, but they didn't know that I could predict the future. So as for this guy, I just have to avoid any chance of a close collision with him. After thinking about this, Zhang Yi decisively chose to use the hand cannon to launch continuous and indiscriminate bombardment, while paying attention to keeping a distance from the Phoenix. Liang Yu, facing such an opponent, is there any good way to deal with it? Zhang Yi seeks advice from Liang Yu, who is also a top martial artist. Liang Yu answered without hesitation, there are two most critical points. The first is to break the breath in his stomach. If the breath is released, his fighting power will be greatly weakened in a short period of time. Second, it is to break his belief in invincibility. Once his heart is shaken and he no longer believes that his sword can cut through everything, his attacks will become slower and his sword will become blunt. Zhang Yi nodded. I understand. He quickly retreated, keeping the distance between himself and the Phoenix at a level where his attack could be most powerful, but definitely not giving the Phoenix a chance to get close. A hint of doubt flashed in the eyes of the Phoenix. Strangeness. During the duel with Batian Jedi, although Zhang Yi also adopted long-range attack methods to start, he did not show too much resistance to close combat. Moreover, with his final astonishing move, he easily tore through Tyrant's armor scales and defeated him. But why is she being so evasive towards him now? Could it be that he knows my ability? Such a thought flashed through the Phoenix's mind. If that's the case, unless he also possesses the ability of time attribute. Is this really possible? He possesses the two most advanced abilities of time and space at the same time, and his close combat ability is also very strong. It should be unlikely, right? Even the Phoenix was somewhat unwilling to believe this. Even though he was once a top powerhouse, he would still be jealous of this kind of talent and would never believe it. Having some idea in mind, he immediately wanted to verify his guess. The sturdy arms raised the giant lava sword, like a king commanding thousands of troops. With a wave of the sword, the whole earth turned into a sea of magma. The rock flows converged and formed a huge vortex on the ground, accumulating strength. Zhang Yi's hand cannon continuously fired jet-black bullets. The power of antimatter wrapped the holy silver bullets, locking onto the body of the Phoenix and attacking. The magma that gushed out like an endless ocean blocked most of Zhang Yi's attacks. The Phoenix is obviously much stronger than Tyrant. The holy silver bullet cannot pass through the ocean of magma, so it is difficult to cause substantial damage to the Phoenix's spirit. Zhang Yi raised his eyebrows slightly, raised his right hand and pointed it forward, then clenched it tightly. God's domain purification. The Phoenix can control the deep and sea-like rock streams to attack and defend, but if the attack is instantaneous and locks onto his body, he will have no time to defend. In an instant, the space around him was distorted, as if the void was collapsing, and a strong force squeezed his body from all directions. Boom! The golden armor shattered, and it seemed that there was also the sound of bones breaking. The sudden attack made the Phoenix's face turn red, and thick black gas instantly overflowed from the gaps in the golden armor. Zhang Yi is no longer the Zhang Yi of the past. The lethality of his divine realm purifying tribulation has reached an astonishing level. In addition, the sudden attack caused the Phoenix to suffer severe injuries, and he couldn't help but let out a muffled groan. Seeing this, the ghosts around also showed a frightened look in their eyes. Instantaneous ability, locking onto a spatial position to attack. And there is no sign at all. This ability is too terrifying. The most powerful aspect of the Divine Realm Purification Tribulation is not its overwhelming power, but its complete inability to defend against. Even if the supernatural power index is much higher than Zhang Yi, as long as the defense is not strong enough, he may be killed instantly by this move. The phoenix suffered a great loss because of this. Seeing that he was injured, Zhang Yi did not hesitate at all, and the hand cannon in his left hand transformed again. The hand cannon, which was only 1 or 2 meters long, stretched out, and the barrel became 6 meters long and more than 10 centimeters thick. Afterwards, Zhang Yi silently took out a black shell that was as long as an arm and slightly wider from the alien's face. Today it can no longer be called a nuclear bomb, because its equivalent is comparable to that of a small god of death, capable of detonating a 10-kilometer radius and creating a field with an instantaneous temperature of hundreds of millions of degrees Celsius 3,000 meters from the center of the explosion. After the shells were loaded, Zhang Yi did not hesitate at all and pulled the trigger while the phoenix was injured. The information gap is vividly demonstrated here. He was betting that these guys didn't know the existence of this weapon, but if they really thought it was just a stronger version of the holy silver bullet, they would suffer a great loss. Boom! The huge divine cannon let out a shocking roar, and at the moment the shell was fired, Zhang Yi's feet had already stepped on the edge of the dimensional gate. He quickly stepped back and came to a place 10 kilometers away from the range of the phoenix. At the same time, Sunluo Wanxiang tightened its defense range to avoid being affected by the strong shock waves and radiation. Although the phoenix was not injured, it still maintained a cautious attitude. The shells were flying towards him at more than 10 times the speed of Mach, which was extremely fast in his eyes, but not impossible to resist. The phoenix did not feel too powerful from the cannonball, so it subconsciously raised the golden giant sword in its hand, focused its mind, and chopped it off on the head. The moment the sword and the shell touched, an indescribable, powerful, and vast light exploded in front of him. The light devoured everything, the light created everything, and the light caused everyone's eyes to fall into a state of temporary blindness. And within a brief moment after the light spread, a deafening roar sounded like the earth collapsing. Boom! It felt like a long time had passed since everyone was deprived of their vision by the light before they heard the roaring sound. It was as if there was something wrong with their ears. After the roar, there was a buzzing in their ears. The world was extremely silent, and there was no sound anymore. Then there was a burning sensation, a painful sensation all over the skin. Even those powerful elves realized that something was wrong and hurriedly distanced themselves from the enemy. Zhang Yi was just 10 kilometers away, watching helplessly as an enormous sun appeared above the ground. Looking closely, it is so beautiful and full of destructive atmosphere. Nuclear radiation is seriously exceeding the limit. Please stay away from this area. The intelligent system gave Zhang Yi a prompt. Although the demon mecha on Zhang Yi has anti-radiation function, he still chooses to keep his distance. The ghost-faced nun and the others also fled to a farther direction. They looked at this direction from afar, feeling the horrific aftermath of the nuclear explosion and the thick smoke that surged into the sky and turned into a mushroom cloud, with meaningful expressions on their faces. Because it's a space-related ability, you can carry this kind of weapon with you, right? What an interesting young man. In him, I see myself in the past. This is unfair. A handsome man with long hair shrugged. In fact, in our time, there were weapons much stronger than this. It's just that we have no way to use them. An old man with a white beard nearby stroked his beard and said with some emotion, "In fact, I am very happy to see these outstanding people in the future. It's just what a pity." He then lowered his head, shook it helplessly, and murmured something in a low voice. Of course, aren't each of them exceptionally strong in their respective ethnic groups? In order to save his own people and the world, he resolutely chose to enter the Jedi and seal the demon Mammon who was about to destroy the world. But the final result was that they saw what true power was, and not only were they killed, but their souls were also trapped in this place forever, unable to return to the ether. Zhang Yi was in the distance, staring intently at the center of the nuclear explosion. I don't know if this attack can completely kill the phoenix. Soon he got the answer. Amidst the blazing light and the dazzling sea of fire, a huge figure slowly emerged, and a human shape gradually appeared in his eyes. The phoenix walked out of the sea of fire, his whole body burning with scorching flames, but the golden armor had been completely melted, leaving only a majestic body as if it had been carefully carved by Michelangelo. The body of the phoenix is naked, holding the huge golden sword in his hand, with flames and magma flowing on his sword. No harm? Impossible. Zhang Yi whispered. As soon as he finished speaking, he saw a deep crack appear on the golden sword with a crack sound. The phoenix did not appear to be as majestic as it appeared. Even though it was a spirit, it existed in the form of an energy body, and it was impossible for it not to be affected by a nuclear explosion. Zhang Yi guessed that at the most critical moment, he wrapped himself in a large amount of magma to resist the impact of the explosion. He can withstand the baptism of magma and has a stronger tolerance to high temperatures. Immediately afterwards, Phoenix's words also verified Zhang Yi's guess. You are so strong. If you hadn't discovered that I was an immortal soul, that attack would have been enough to cause fatal damage to me. So now, it's unfair to you for me to stand here. Zhang Yi also realized this problem. These souls have been trapped here for at least tens of millions of years. If they could die, they would have committed suicide long ago. He looked into the distance, at the bronze pillar that sealed Tyrant Sky and Destiny, his eyes thoughtful. The phoenix looked at him and said in a deep voice, I will not accept losing like this. He pointed at the bronze pillar and said, Without the seal, you can't kill me. So how about we negotiate a deal? Zhang Yi became interested. He could see that although these souls were of different races and personalities, they all had the arrogance of the strong and were unwilling to rush forward to attack him. After a person dies, only dignity can be retained. What do you want? Zhang Yi asked. The phoenix stroked the huge golden sword in his hand. I'll strike again. If you can take it, I'll admit defeat. Zhang Yi stared, lost in thought. He saw in his second hand of time the power of the phoenix's sword, which was infused with the belief of killing, and it was almost as powerful as Li Changgong's I am the will of God. He didn't want to confront the phoenix head-on. However, the phoenix was right. He had no way of sealing both tyrant and phoenix at the same time, so he could only fight fairly and impartially. But how can he dodge this sword? Zhang Yi was thinking about it, and the others were not in a hurry either, as they had a lot of time. If Zhang Yi lost, then they would have to spend an extremely long, endless period of time here. Zhang Yi raised his head. Instead of directly answering the phoenix's question, he asked him a question in return. Before that, can I ask you a question? The phoenix was a little surprised, but still nodded and said, Excuse me. Zhang Yi asked, I want to know how you died in battle here. What kind of creature killed you? His voice was low and his emotions were sincere, but soon there was a hint of something unusual in his words. Can your sword really break a hole? Why did you die in this battle? Is it because your sword is not as sharp as you thought? The last sentence is very heartbreaking. A warrior's battle relies on the energy in his stomach and his invincible belief. If his heart is broken, his combat effectiveness will be drastically reduced, and he may not even be able to return to the peak in his lifetime. What Zhang Yi wants is to waver the phoenix's determination. He had communicated with Ling before. What kind of existence is the spirit? This question was originally directed at Ling. Is it her that Ling's spirit essence returned to the ether, or is it her that possesses her memories and remains in the human world? Ling's answer was that the information that spirits can carry is limited, and they can only retain a very small amount of key information about a person's life. Ling is not the only one. She is a top-level spirit, so the amount of information she can carry is even greater. This is also why some people claim that they are reincarnated and remember the memories of their past lives. When a spirit is separated from the ocean of spiritual essence and reborn into the world to choose a body, some of the information in the spirit is still retained. The phoenix is definitely a powerful spirit, but without a body to rely on, its memory must be severely damaged. Dear viewers, thanks for staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.